There we go. Hello there. Always going to give a shameless plug to longevity. I was having some some technical difficulties there. Another part of my repertoire I need to get going is my technical skills here with the internet. So we'll start in about 60 seconds. All right, well, we'll get going. And so for everybody who's on and comes on, this is interactive. So, and we've gone through a lot of different things, and now it's kind of time to get to it. So my name's Tim Herron, and welcome to Entrepreneur Bootcamp. This is Periscope number 7. And so a little bit, my email is timherron69@gmail.com. I have a blog called Wallachsword, WALLACHSWORD.com. My longevity, my YouTube channel, Tim Herron dash longevity, YOUNGEVITY, for all of you who don't know what that is. So you can go on there, join it, like, share, all that good stuff. So a little bit of a recap in what we've been doing so far in the first 6. So it was defining an entrepreneur, the day in the life of an entrepreneur, your strengths, your weaknesses, your mind conditioning, sacrificing what and why. And then also we went into the company that you keep, who you're cutting out, why is it that you're cutting them out? You know, all these different things go into that. Do you dress for success, right? Or do you wear the Aquaman t-shirt? So I'm always going to give the shameless plug to the forgotten superhero Aquaman. Anyway, so today's Periscope is going to be on your brand, and specifically building your brand. But first you have to understand what your brand is and what you're building, right? Are you building a product? Are you building a service? Are you building yourself? What is the brand that you're building? Okay? And that's very important because you could be building the wrong thing in your entrepreneurship. You could be building a completely wrong thing. Okay? So, and before we get into anything else, here's a little tidbit that I want you to take with you, and I'm going to say it a couple of times. You might not be doing a business that's new, but for sure you're probably going to be doing a new way of doing business, right? So you might not be doing a business that's new, but rather a new way of doing business. It's very important, very, very important, okay? Many businesses, many entrepreneurs aren't doing something that's completely new, right? The majority of them. But they're doing a new way of doing business. So important. I can't stress that enough. And that's something you're going to take with you and think about that as you're going, right? I'm going to give you a couple examples right now of that, okay? Myself, when I opened up an entertainment company in Hollywood making movies, I wasn't the first person to do it, right? But over time, people had slipped away from the model that was working, okay? The big studios out there, they're still there. They're still making movies. I went back old school to how they were making movies because it worked and still works. So we had everything in-house. Everything we had in-house. We didn't have to go outside for anything. We had a record label to do the soundtracks. We had an acting coach, a very top, well-known actor, to teach our acting classes. We picked the cream of the crop from those actors, and we'd sign them to 5 picture deals. So, and in those deals, they worked exclusively with us. But if they had other movies that came out, our company, my entertainment company, would get a percentage of what they were doing. Right? So we had everything in-house. We had all the production there. We didn't have to go outside and break off pieces of our company or sell off pieces of our project in order to complete a project. So I didn't do something that was new. I was just going back old school and doing a new way of doing business, how people have forgotten how to do that. Right? I wasn't reinventing the wheel. Okay? I had a restaurant. I'm not the first person on planet Earth to have a restaurant. But what I did on the East Coast back in 1993 is when I was, early 20s, 23 years old, give or take. And what I did is I created a health food restaurant. Every single item on our menu was listed in fats, carbohydrates, calories, proteins. Everything in there was listed so you knew what you were eating. Then I opened it in front of a big, well-known chain gymnasium that was just opening up across from the largest traffic area for the train station in New York. Okay? So I wasn't the first one to do a restaurant, but you know what? Here's a new way of doing business. The East Coast never saw that type of food. It was on the West Coast, sparsely in California and some different places where they saw that. Okay? I took that there, enhanced it, did breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. People weren't even doing that. So it was just a new way of doing business, okay? But now getting back to your brand. So what are you branding? Am I branding the food? Okay. Am I branding, what am I branding? So the question is, what are you branding? And I think that for me, right, the best brand is you. In whatever you do, the best brand is you. People are going to invest in you. They might say, well, the concept is great and everything, but they're going to have to do business with you. Great. I'm in longevity, okay? I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to put my own spin on it and how it works for me, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not Doc Wildk who's going out there and doing all these different things. I'm not a geneticist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a naturopath. I'm not a veterinarian, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel, but people are going to want to come to do business with me because of the spin that I put on it. And it's the same way with you, with your business, right? So I always believe that the best brand is yourself. And how do you brand yourself? So all the steps that we're going through in this series, okay, and this is interactive, so you can type in anything that you want, and I'll respond to it as I go. Everything in this series is about branding yourself, understanding yourself in business. Where do you fit? Are you in the right place? Right? Are you in the right passion? Are you in the right vision? Okay? A lot of times as we're going through stuff, right? And I'm going to go back to another shameless plug of longevity, is that longevity might not be your passion, but what is your passion? You can create a residual income for yourself and build that to fund whatever else your passion is. You can use that, right? So, but it's your brand. You're creating yourself is your brand. So many people get away from it and they get lost in something else. But ultimately, when somebody decides to enter into business or enter into a business relationship, they're going to want to do it with you. They're not doing it with Doc Wallach. They don't know Doc Wallach, right? They're doing it with me. They're doing it with you. Somebody wants to go, into professional sports, right? Okay. What is the brand? You have, we'll say LeBron James. Is he not a brand? He's a brand. He's not the NBA, right? He's not basketball. He's his own brand. When you hear that in sports, they're building the brand. They're building their own brand. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They're building themselves. They're building up their brand. And people are going to, wow, I want those LeBron James sneakers. Why? Because LeBron James. If it didn't have LeBron James' name on it, they wouldn't sell anything. That's the brand that he's built. So it's very important to see that. So what is your brand? That's my question. What are you branding? Are you branding a product? Are you branding a service? Or are you branding yourself? So the question is, what is your brand? And know that people will ultimately invest their time, their energy, their passions, everything in you. So you have to make your vision clear for other people to join it. If your vision isn't clear, if you don't know your strengths and your weaknesses and you don't know all these things, how are you going to expect other people to join in your vision, right? So you have to be able to understand the brand and what you're branding. And I believe that the best brand is you. It's in you. But you have to project that to other people. You have to get them to believe in what you believe in, right? That comes from knowledge, preparation, mindset, all these different things go into all of that. And these are things that are built over time. You're not building your brand you're not doing it in one day. It's a lifetime of work building you. That's the best bet you can bet on. Always bet on yourself. I'm a betting man. That's unmistakable. So I bet on myself. From day one, I bet on myself. I bet on myself that I didn't want to have a regular job. I didn't want that 9-to-5 job. That didn't compute for me, right? I bet on myself. When other people are going to tell you, when we talk about your circle of friends, your circle of people, who you keep your company with, it's very important. Very, very, very important. Because other people are going to look at that. That's your brand. Don't hurt your brand. When you see these professional athletes that go out, they always say that nothing good happens after midnight, okay? When they go out and they have an incident, that kills their brand, right? That diminishes their brand because negativity, bad company, all these things start coming into the equation for no reason. You know what I mean? They bring it upon themselves. They're hurting their brand. Do not hurt your brand. It takes a long time to build it up, and it takes one thing to knock it down. Right? Consistency of building you. I can't stress that enough. I look for people to go into business with rather than a business to go into. Right? Because I've always created my own things. Even with the longevity, it was kind of there. I'm not there to reinvent the wheel with that, but I want to put my own take on it. I have to put my own take on it. You see a lot of the top guys in there, they're putting their own take on it and the reasons why they're successful. So that's really it. It's you are your best brand. So what is it that you're branding? So I want you to send me that in your questions that people send in. Okay, I want you to send in, what are you branding? Okay? Are you building your brand, but what are you what are you branding? Is there any quick questions out there before I continue? Okay, so think of it as you are your brand. So you want to do everything to build your brand, you, and you want to subtract the things that are going to diminish your brand, you. And so the purpose of me doing those things, strengths and weaknesses, it really comes down to that, is that's you're slowly building you so that other people will invest in you. Other people will show interest in you and what you're doing because they believe in you. You're going to be your own best brand. I don't care what it is, So that's very, very important, is your brand, you. You have to build the best you can for you personally, but also so that other people are attracted to do business with you, right? So some of the things that I brought up was my longevity business, entertainment company, restaurant, all those different things. But really the main thing is look at the sports athletes. Look at that, right? We always go back to their brand. It's their brand. They're not the NBA. They're not the NFL. They're their own particular brand. And how many times you see them, oh man, that guy did that, a professional football player goes out, shoots himself. I mean, that killed his brand and a lot of his career. You'll see instance after instance after instance. It takes them years to build it up, and one thing can knock it down. So just be very cognizant of what you're doing with your brand, which is you. So I want you to send those in to me. My email is timheron69@gmail.com. I'm very curious to see what people believe their brand is. Is it a product? It could be a product, right? I'm not saying that those things aren't, but what I am saying is that your best brand is you. Okay, at the end of the day, you have to represent all those things, and it's just a cultivation. It's a culmination of all the things you do in your life that brings you to the event where somebody wants to join forces with you in your vision, right? In your entrepreneurism, in your entrepreneurial spirit. That's what they want to do, right? People are attracted to those things when they can understand it, when they can believe in it, and when they can see themselves in it, right? Nobody wants to see themselves around somebody who has no idea of anything and just a robot doing whatever. You have to, here we go, here's one. The what and why. You could share whatever you like, go ahead. That's it. The what, the what and the why, right? You can even tell me right here. What is your brand and why is it your brand? Okay, tell me that. So remember this phrase because it's going to come up, and might not think about it now or the relevance of it now, but you might not be doing a business that's new, but a new way of doing business. Right? You might not be doing a business that's new, but rather a new way of doing business. You'll see so many of these people that are coming up with a new take on this, a new take on that. Well, you know what? They didn't reinvent that. They didn't reinvent the tire, right? They didn't reinvent this. They just put hey, it has a better grip and it has this on it, has all these different things. So that's very, 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 very important. I can't stress that enough. Your best bet is to brand yourself, but a new way of conducting business that will attract other people. But it first has to make sense to you, and then the vision has to be clear enough where other people can see that too and believe in that too, saying, you know what, this person's going in the right direction. I love that, right? And then they can come in and join forces because those people that come in, they're going to take their own take, okay? And they're gonna add that to it, and that's what you want. You want somebody who's joining forces with you to add something to the equation, not subtract. So you're just, as you're going along the way, think of it like this, okay? Like a rushing river. You have a river. It starts a little thing, and then it starts picking up momentum, and it's adding this, and it's adding that, and it's spreading out and gaining force and gaining momentum as it's going, because it's adding to the force of that little thing. So you might be that little thing right now, but just keep adding quality pieces, keep adding positive influences, all these things in here, and the negativity, wash that out. All the people that aren't going in the same direction, wash them out. But add the ones to be a force, become a force with your own brand, so that other people will want to join you in your endeavors. So that's it there. My email is timheron69@gmail.com. Send me those in. Send me what is your brand, right? And how are you building your brand? How are you building your brand? Very, very important. So thank you very much for joining this Periscope. I'll look forward to seeing those questions in there. I will answer them promptly. I will. And then I'll add them to the next webisode. I'll put them on the webisode there. So if you send in the questions, you'll see them on the majority. I can't get to all of them, but you'll see a majority of them on the webisode number 7 that I'll put up on YouTube. Okay, so great. Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate that. Ooh, there we go. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And so get to building your brand, right? That's it. And it's you. At the end of the day, it's you. So go build your brand, be prosperous, and I'll see you guys later on. Thank you very much. Love it. I got hearts and balloons. Hearts, balloons, oh my. I'm just going to keep staying until all the hearts are going. Can't get me off. Oh. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.